Hello, sports lovers. Welcome to the most authoritative boxing channel here on social media. This is your boy Med. In today's episode, I shall be talking about the new godfather of boxing. His name is His Excellency Turki Alalshikh. The entry of this man into boxing has transformed the sports a lot because we are now able to see all the big fights without excuses. His Excellency made Francis Ngannou versus Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. He has also made Anthony A.J. Joshua versus Otto Wallen, Parker versus Wilder. These are all significant fights in the sports of boxing that ordinarily wouldn't have been made, but with the backing of the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia and the King of Saudi Arabia, His Excellency has been able to deliver these sports to the world. So as a boxing fan, I can say that we are most grateful to the three people, the King, the Crown Prince, and His Excellency Turki Alalshikh. Now, the interview started by him talking about his deteriorating health within the next 5 years, and I wish him a very speedy recovery. I hope he returns to good health and can be able to deliver more of these quality sports or these quality events for the people across the globe in Saudi Arabia. Then the second thing he talked about was a research in which he conducted where in the 70s and the 80s, boxing was the number one sport in the world. But today, boxing has taken a nosedive and is on a free flow downwards and is now ranked number 14 as the best sport in the world. So boxing needs saving and he is just in to do exactly that. Another thing he talked about was Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder lost to Joseph Parker, where he said that he has decided to allow Wilder rejuvenate, repackage himself, come back into the ring healthy, and continue to do what he does best. The next thing he also talked about was his willingness to make the fight between Dimitri Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev. That is going to be a very, very interesting fight. And the winner of that fight will face the cruiserweight former IBF champion and the person of Jay Opitaya. Then he spoke about Fury versus Alexander Usyk. That has been dubbed the Ring of Fire. That is quite interesting because in the press conference that day, he stated that AJ Joshua would face the winner of the undisputed bout. Okay, but in the interview with Ade, where he expatiated on most of the things, he stated clearly that or acknowledged that the two men who are heavyweight champions now will need to face each other 2 times. That means there is a rematch that would happen between Tyson the Gypsy King Fury and Alexander the Cat Usyk, which is very, very, very fantastic. And one thing I want to know is that would the winner of Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua compete for the undisputed? Would the IBF still hold on or still make the winner of the undisputed hold their belt and parade it around? Because Philip Hegovich has been waiting for long, and the WBO would also want to call their next mandatory anytime soon. So we don't know how this will play out after we have seen the undisputed, but I trust His Excellency Turki Alalshikh to organize the fight. They asked him if Saudi Arabia is becoming the new Las Vegas, and he was quite positive about it, that why not Saudi Arabia? Because the people are good, tourism is good, they are welcoming, and the entertainment and sports business is booming in the Middle East, and Saudi Arabia is one of the places that want to capitalize on this kind of supports they are getting from their leaders in order to propel their country to the next level. I think that it's a fantastic idea using sports and entertainment in order to project the image of your country. Whilst the king spoke, whilst His Excellency spoke about the Francis Ngannou versus Anthony A.J. Joshua winner competing for the undisputed, let me put something in perspective. If Francis Ngannou beats Anthony A.J. Joshua, which I doubt it would happen, it is likely that Francis Ngannou who may be competing for the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world in his third fight. And that is quite significant. I don't know how other governing bodies will go ahead and rank Francis Ngannou, but it is very significant if Francis Ngannou may be competing for the world heavyweight champion in his third fight, and that would make his story more amazing. A poor boy from Cameroon, Yaoundé, working in the mines, the soil mines, the sand mines, in order for people to use for construction, get to France, start MMA, become a world champion, and in his third fight, he is a heavyweight world champion. What an amazing and inspiring story that would be. Now, Ade went forward and asked him that, is Saudi Arabia becoming the new Las Vegas? He said, why not? Because the people there are welcoming. The culture is great. And sports and entertainment is now booming in the Middle East, and Saudi Arabia is one of the countries that want to lead the way in making their country known through sports and entertainment and changing the narrative of negativity about a good country. And that is why he has the backing of the crown prince and the king of Saudi Arabia. Now, His Excellency Turki Alalshikh continued to express that he advised Anthony A.J. Joshua to stick with Ben Davis as his new trainer because he looked fantastic. And Anthony A.J. Joshua would still be training with Ben Davis ahead of the Francis Ngannou fight. I think that that is a chemistry that is building. And if Anthony A.J. Joshua is able to overcome Francis Ngannou and Tyson, a Gypsy King Fury overcomes Alexander Usyk. Interesting matchup because Ben Davis is the former trainer of Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. They had 5 fights together. Francis Pianetta and one other fight. Then the Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder fight. The first fight, Ben Davis was the trainer of Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Then the Otto Wallen fight that happened in Las Vegas and Tom Shaw's fight. So they did 5 fights together as fighter and trainer. And now Ben Davis would be in the opposite corner against Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, and Sugar. That would be a very, very interesting matchup. Head and stated that he wanted Devin the Dream Haney to fight in America, and he wants to make that fight with Gervonta Tank Davis, and he is willing to work with Al Heyman in order to deliver the fight in Saudi Arabia. I think that this is very, very positive for the sports of boxing because what His Excellency Turki Alalshikh is delivering is special. Then stated that he doesn't want YouTube fights, he wants real fights, and that is very interesting because if we have real fighters fighting each other, not many boxing fans would be so glued to this YouTube fight. And no disrespect to KSI, Tommy Fury, Jake Paul, and the likes, but if real boxers are boxing each other, it will take the attention of the YouTube fighting. But personally, I have an interesting fight matchup to suggest to the king, as he stated that if someone has an interesting matchup, he should go ahead and suggest to him. Now, what about the winner of Atabetabayev and Dimitri Bivol facing Saul Canelo Alvarez? So it becomes another undisputed versus undisputed bout. Maybe Dimitri Bivol going up, if he wins 2 cruiserweight, would be a bit difficult for him because he is not a big light heavyweight. But it would be interesting to see the winner of the undisputed light heavyweight champion face Saul Canelo Alvarez, since Saul Canelo Alvarez has been a champion in the 175 division, and that fight will do massive numbers. If it's Dimitri Bivol that emerges victorious, he and Saul Canelo Alvarez would be a second fight. And Saul Canelo Alvarez stated that he wasn't his best when he fought Dimitri Bivol, and he knows how to beat him now. That's first. Second, Atabetabayev versus Saul Canelo Alvarez would be war because both men are come forward pressure fighters, and it would be an interesting fight. Another fight suggestion I have for His Excellency Turki Alalshikh is making Don Jones versus Francis Ngannou. What an interesting matchup would be. What a story it would be to sell to the world of combat sports. But all the same, for now, we are most grateful to the Godfather, His Excellency Turki Alalshikh, who has done amazing for the sports of boxing, like the fight between Joseph Parker and Zhili Zhang. I think that is a very, very dangerous fight for both men at this stage of their career because they are all coming off a significant win. Zhang is coming off a win against Joe Joyce, whilst Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder was defeated by Joseph Parker. If these two people face the winner of these two, should be the third or second best heavyweight in the world. That is period. Because as after that, after they fight, Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk, one of them would be undisputed. And these people in their last three fights have fought more significant fighters. And I think that they should be number one or number two in the rankings of most of the governing body, whoever emerges as victor. The sports of boxing does not surprise me anymore. But one thing that got me surprised was 5 versus 5, Matchroom versus Queensberry. It was going to be an interesting matchup. 5 fighters from Queensberry and 5 fighters from Matchroom that would also be on the undercard of Francis Ngannou versus Anthony A.J. Joshua. So what a card that would be. So that means that we are looking at a possible of Callum Smith versus an Anthony Yard fight. That is an interesting matchup. It's just sad that Joshua Buadzi would have missed out on the Anthony Yard fight, a fight in which I've been championing for him for a very long time now. But if we see Callum Smith versus Anthony Yard, both men losing to Albert Abiev, what an interesting matchup it would be. But stay glued to the most authoritative boxing channel whilst I bring you more on the sports of boxing. If you have not hit that subscribe button by now, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Press the like button, express your views in the comment section, and share this particular video with friends and family. Thank you once again to the people of Saudi Arabia in welcoming the world to your beautiful country. I would love the opportunity to visit your country to cover the sports of boxing or have a vacation in your country one day. I hope I get the resources and the privilege to be invited to your country. Thank you for supporting the sports of boxing, and we are most grateful.